Celebrating Women's History. Sponsored by the U.S. Army.
Well, the coronavirus has kept legislators busy. While many are men, there are a few women on the national level helping make decisions.
Yeah, Congresswoman Susan Brooks is one of them. As we celebrate Women's History Month, we take a look at what got her to one of the top spots in government. News 8's Katira Winfrey has the story.
Before Susan Brooks took office in 2012, it had been decades since the last woman representing Indiana was elected to Congress. Brooks says being a congresswoman wasn't part of the plan, but when an opportunity came around, she took it. Congresswoman Susan Brooks represents Indiana's 5th district, but for so many others, she represents something more, an idea that women can lead.
There really haven't been many females that have gone to Washington.
Outside of state government, she says there haven't been many women representing Indiana in Washington. But a few years ago, she started her journey.
The Republican Party called me in 2011 and said that we think you ought to consider running for Congress. We think your background could be very helpful.
She says her background as a private prosecutor, deputy mayor, United States prosecutor for the Southern District, federal prosecutor under President George Bush after the terrorist attacks of 9/11 prepared her for her role in Congress.
When I ran in 2012, I actually found it to be an advantage. I thought that people, men and women in my district, were ready to send a woman to Congress.
When the anthrax attacks rocked the U.S. after September 11th, she was there helping develop TSA and Homeland Security. And just last year, she wrote a piece of legislation signed into law called Pandemic and All Hazard Preparedness Response to address pandemics like the one hitting the U.S. now.
So we kind of went through and realized how important it was for government to bring in public health officials and to help train first responders as to how to deal with public health emergencies.
She says the work she does is, of course, to inspire girls and women of all ages, but to also inspire men to support those women the way others supported her. And if that support isn't there, still make the leap.
To not wait to be asked, like I waited to be asked, but to consider raising their hands.
Brooks says considering her background in pandemic responses, she says it's great to see health and government leaders partner to get ahead of the coronavirus. Reporting in the studio, I'm Wish TV News 8's multicultural reporter, Katira Winfrey.